Welcome back, folks. This is a review that I saw the film many years ago once again on Turner Classic Movies, as I see most of my classic films in probably the mid-2000s, living at home with my parents, partially employed, and there you go. So I was at the swap meet with my good buddy Jose a few weeks ago down in Crow's Landing, south of Modesto, and for $3, I got the box set for the 1967 classic Bonnie and Clyde, starring Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway. I gotta look at my notes. So this particular box set, it's beefy. This is a DVD, not a VHS. It must have been some anniversary edition, so let's just go through this. It's got a poster that you could have gotten for free, if 27 by 40, only shipping. You could have gotten that if they would have sent that in. It has an original press kit, and then kind of 1967 movie release press kit. So there you go. And it has a photo booklet, production photos, set photos, things like that. Let's talk about Faye Dunaway. Easy on the eyes. Warren Beatty, also not a bad looking guy. Okay, so let's see. Special features disc, little flip booklet. Didn't watch those. Never do. And then you have He Was the Leader. She wrote the poetry. This is the actual motion picture here. So this movie kind of ties into the movie that I had done a previous review on a couple of months ago, In the Heat of the Night. Because Best Picture 1967, and I believe, I can't remember. No. I think this one won Best Director. I did not dig deep into the notes, so I apologize. But just reading about In the Heat of the Night a few months ago, In the Heat of the Night, Best Picture, but I think this might have won Best Director, Arthur Penn. I'll have to double check that. Let's pause a moment. Okay, so I was wrong. It won 2 Academy Awards. It won Best Cinematography, and the gal, Estelle, I can't even read her last name. My writing is so bad. Anyway, Best Supporting Actress. So Gene Hackman plays the brother Buck of Clyde, and he was married to this gal, Estelle, that was like hysterical and annoying for the whole movie. I guess she was supposed to be that way because she won Best Supporting Actress for it. This movie, it was good, but I did like if I'm doing a matchup of Best Picture nominees, I still think I would have picked The Graduate for 1967 over all of them. But this movie was definitely, to me, not as satisfying to watch as In the Heat of the Night in a similar time period of movies that came out. I can kind of see the best cinematography. There's some kind of dreamlike sequences at a family picnic with like a really soft lens that were kind of interesting. Fun fact, this movie was the first screen role for Gene Wilder. There was a couple of Genes in this movie and I got confused. The future breakout role would be right after this, The Producers, but this was his first role. And like you can see that comedic vibe of Gene Wilder. Another quick blurb, I did not realize that Shirley MacLaine was the sister of Warren Beatty, and they were maybe going to cast her as the Bonnie Parker character, but then that would have been weird because they kind of have a sexual relationship, which is another like Hollywood weird story. So I was kind of reading a backstory about the film. They originally wanted to be very edgy and maybe make the Clyde Barrow character have kind of like a homosexual kind of vibe, but then they kind of make him not be kind of, I don't want to say asexual, because of like they make the Faye Dunaway Bonnie Parker character like way hypersexual and Clyde Barrow kind of like pushes her away, and he always says, "I ain't no lover boy." I still think that was kind of edgy for 1967. This movie had an R rating. I didn't even know they did ratings as far back as 67. I know there was like R and G and then PG. I don't think there was PG-13 until Raiders or Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones. Side note. So anyway, yeah. 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb. It is considered a classic. I just feel like the time period, they kind of encapsulated it well with the cars and just the filming locations. It felt very 1930s, except for, I don't know why, but I still kind of felt like there was like this late 60s vibe. I guess it was the way it was filmed, or maybe the way they did the hairstyles. I just wasn't still feeling this was the early 30s. I don't know. Comment down below if you feel the same way. Like sometimes movies miss on how period authentic they are. I'm trying to think of what I'm going to give this, and I'm like, my gut, I'm just gonna say it. I'm going 3 out of 5. It's good, but I'm putting it on the shelf, and I don't know when I will watch it again. This is the second time I've watched it in probably 10 years. Yeah, it was good, but it was not amazing for me. They took a lot of creative liberties, obviously. I went down a rabbit hole and read the real Clyde Barrow story. Very tragic. Felt like he was waging war on the Texas law enforcement. He was a victim of the Texas prison system. He got sodomized and sexually assaulted violently. And his family would say that he was never the same after he got out and he had that experience. And he became incredibly violent. They kind of make the character in the movie feel bad about his violence. But from what I read, he was not a very forgiving person. And I don't know if I think I kind of don't like it too, because they wanted you to kind of feel sorry for him, that in the end, Bonnie and Clyde ended up getting smoked by the police and they kind of got betrayed. But they were violent criminals. What about the people they killed? They try to make you feel sorry for them. And folk hero, that's the term that I kind of read. But they were robbing banks. And to quote one of my favorite movies, No Country for Old Men, and there's this one scene where Tommy Lee Jones and the people are in the police department or the sheriff's department are filling out the cause of death in the police department, and these guys had died in a violent gun battle, and they were all like drug kingpin type of people, and Tommy Lee Jones said, cause of death, died of natural causes, and they're like, huh? Natural to the line of work that they were in. But it's still sad. It's always sad when a human life is lost. Did they deserve maybe to be captured and have a trial? I think at that point it would have been the same end game. They probably would have got the electric chair. So, and they were like ultra violent, and it was a different place and time, right? People always want to try and compare these past things to modern times, and they did things differently in 1934. So that's my review, 3 out of 5. I would still say it's worth watching if you're into classic cinema or just movies in general. And I would love to hear your feedback on it. I don't get a lot in the comment section about my movies, but I mostly make these for my friends and kind of to stir up interest, to maybe get your movie viewing list built, and you'll have something to pass the time with and think about in a deeper way. Until next time, we'll see you then.